Do you have some old sweaters or thrifted sweaters in your closet? Well, if you do, let's create some beautiful Christmas stockings. Hello, everybody, and welcome into Emily's Upcycled home. For our first sweater here, I have this thrifted sweater, and I like the fact that it has this beautiful pattern on it, as well as the sleeve is it's a wide sleeve sweater. So we're going to take that sleeve and the base of our sweater here where the armpit lies, and we are going to trace out the footing of our stocking using this template that I cut out, just tracing how I wanted my stocking to look. I'm going to place that into the armpit. We're going to give this a little bit of a diagonal cut here, just so that our stocking lays at a diagonal at the base. And I'm going to bring in just a marker once I have this laid at flat and trace around our image here. Now, the other thing is you want to probably leave a ½ inch of space where you're going to glue everything. I didn't quite get that on this one, but remember that for your future projects, you want that little lip so you can glue your pieces. Once I have my positioning, how I want my template here, I go ahead and cut out everything, leaving that base round the way I want it. Now remember, we don't need to glue any of the top because it's already sealed, but we're going to go ahead and flip our stocking inside out and get our edges matched up the best we can. If you have excess here because your scissors was dull like mine, then you can just work your magic with your hot glue gun. You can also sew this if you want it sewn as well. So I'm just going to line up the end of the pieces and with my hot glue gun come in and help build that curvature of the base of my stocking here with that hot glue gun. So just going to place that hot glue gun on the edge of our stocking. Make sure and press in firmly just to give that a good bond, and repeat that process all along the edges from the tip of the toe to the edge of the heel. Set that to dry a little bit, and then you can come in and trim off any excess fabric that you don't want on your little stocking here. You do want to let that glue set for a little bit, or else it'll just pull apart as you're replacing your stocking the proper way. Once we have it back to the right side, we're just going to go ahead and add a little cuff at the top here, just folding over that top fabric, adding a little strip of glue just to hold that in place on either side, on both sides of our little fold here. And your stocking should look like this, and maybe a little different depending on how you cut your surface. Now I want to put some little lace here with our lace I got from Temu in this beautiful shade of green, and I want to cover the heel as well as the tip of the toes there. So I'm just going to place my lace on and then glue on my piece with my hot glue. You notice I'm coming in with a curved rounded edge there with my glue because I want to round that edge on the base of our stocking as well. So I'm just manipulating with that glue, placing in on that edge and forming it to the edge of our stocking, rounding that out, and then I will repeat that process for the tippy toes here, adding a piece of that beautiful green lace and mimicking that round layered look here with our hot glue and placing that fabric back onto the toes. I forgot to press record here when I added that little lace detailing under the lip and that bronzy colored suede fabric. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you a little bit of that in the next stocking. But right here we are building some ribbon here, or a bow, just adding some ribbon, gathering it in the center and tying that off with some twine in the middle. And once we have that beautiful bow the way we want, we'll go ahead and attach that to our top of our stocking there. And once again, most of these laces and pieces I got off of Temu. You can also purchase lace and pieces off of Amazon. And then we're just going to glue that beautiful little bow. It's kind of a lacy bow detailing here. So for this project and all the rest of the stockings we are going to complete, hot glue gun is your best friend. I'm going to dovetail those ends, giving my ribbon more of a finished look here, just folding that in half and cutting at a diagonal. Now with that velvet ribbon, I went ahead and tied around my bow, and then we're going to add an extra bow right dab in the center, making a bow as if you're tying your shoelace here. I'm not going to worry about the perfect look here, but I am going to arrange my cords or my tails in the direction I want. This cute little tree, I'm going to put some hot glue and add that into the center. I did pick these up from Temu as well, but I'm sure you can grab some on Amazon. Now I'm just going to place that into the center, and then you guys, I have some vintage doily here. I had one saved from my other stocking, but I lost it, so we're just going to come in with this square one. I cut a piece out, and then I'm going to place that into the side of our stocking, still exposing that striped detail of our fabric, but adding a little bit more variation and cuteness, I think, to our stocking here. I'm gonna line up the back also with some hot glue, ignoring the back. We are not gonna do anything to the back of our stocking, and just folding that over so it really has a tight edge here and holds our stocking how we want the shape to be. Go ahead and put your bow back into its place and its positioning, and then we went ahead and we stuffed our stocking just to take a look at it to see if we want to add any more detailing to our pieces here. And once I'm just using some paper, lining that up, and then I decide to come in with a little piece of scrap ribbon here, or Jubilee fabric, and it's like a plaidish green color, bringing out that green tone in our stocking as well. I'm just going to add a dab of hot glue to the tip, and then we're going to go ahead and glue that under our bow, making it look like it's coming out from the trendles as well. Coming in with these rustic cute little bells I also got off Temu, but I'm sure Amazon sells them as well. I'm going to lace those through our ribbon, and I'm going to add 2 on one end, and on the longer strip I will add 3, and then our beautiful stocking is complete. Shall we move on to stocking number 2? Stocking here, I found another little sweater. Now this is a sweater that I've used before. Some pumpkins, some fabric pumpkins for thanks or fall. I'm going to take off all my buttons first, and then we're going to go ahead and start cutting. Now the sleeve for this is gone because I used it for our pumpkin, but I'm going to go ahead and place my fabric or my template down into the center of the fabric, tracing that outline once again here, and then I'm gonna have to go up into my sweater to make the long length of our stocking. So we're gonna go ahead, bring in our scissors, cut the image out of our base here, and then we're gonna go ahead and continue up into that sweater, building our stocking sleeve, as you would call it, I guess. So we're going to go ahead and trim that out, repeating the process on the other side as well, just trimming with our scissors all the way up. Now coming back in with that glue, you saw a more detailed version of this part on our first stocking, but we just go ahead and continue that process, flipping your pieces inside out, gluing your item down, and then putting your hand in. Once your glue is set, make sure your glue is set, you guys. Then go ahead and put your sleeve and your stocking the proper way. So we're just going ahead and press this down, make sure that glue is stuck, and trim off any excess of our fabric here. And then once again, stick our hand in and put it back the right side. If you have any spots that are not quite sealed with the glue, go ahead and place a little bit more glue in that section and glue your piece down, holding firmly on your stocking. I'm going to come in with this striped fabric. I think it looks very pretty with this natural color of this sweater, and I don't want to block all that detailing of that knitted sweater. See all that detailing there? I don't want to block too much of that. So we're going to do a little bit more of a simpler design, just bringing in the strap fabric. And here is the detail that I did on the top of our other stocking with that suede ribbon. And then I went ahead and just lined that glue, put that strip of ribbon on the top, making sure it has a long tail. And then I came in with another strip of ribbon and I made it look like it was coming in from the other side by just adding another strip of hot glue and gluing that round down and then layering up that other side over top of it. Now you want to flip your piece over as well and glue a little bit on that back side, making sure that has a firm hold on that ribbon. Now this shape of this one is a little bit different because the fabric was different and it tugged and pulled in different ways, but we're just going to work with that. I'm going to add a strip down here on the base of the heel, tucking that ribbon around just ever so slightly and cutting off any excess of our ribbon as well. And we're just going to trim that excess off, and then I'm going to work around this little foot here, trying to give it more of a rounded form, just layering up different layer of fabrics here. I'm going to start where I want it first and then trim that up, glue those ends together like we've been doing on the first stocking as well as this one, adding that strip of glue, tucking over that excess fabric just so that it looks like it's going around the fabric. Remember, we're not decorating the backs, so don't waste material layering up the backs. Now once again, just coming in with different strips here until I got the full toe section covered with that fabric. Now I'm just using my hand and my hot glue kind of just to reform that toe section and make it a little bit more rounder. Didn't quite like the shape of it, and I'll go ahead and add more glue and tuck that little pointy edge as well later on in the video. I'm going to trim some more of that fabric or that vintage doily I have here, and we're going to add that to the heel, adding some hot glue around that and then placing that into that center of our heel section. Just building layers and texture on this stocking. Now remember, this one's going to be a little bit more simpler because I don't want to hide any of that detailing of that stocking. And once we fill in this with some paper, it would look a little bit different here. So I have that little doily on, and then we're going to come in and just layer in a messy ribbon or a messy bow, layering up different scraps of fabric, coming in with a little bit of muslin cloth here, doing that rip fabric method. And I'm just folded these like a little pretzel or a little bow and then place them in the center, and we're going to repeat that process of tying them in a knot and then gluing them to our stocking. Now you don't have to fold your bow, you can just leave your strip straight, but I like mine to be folded and rounded. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer this on the top edge, and I thought it would be cute with another little tree here in this section. And then I added some cute little buttons. Well, the buttons that we took off of the sweater originally, I added those in a different spot, and then came in with some little strips of that red fabric that we've been using, made little bows, and tacked those with our hot glue gun underneath that button here. I just placed one in the center of the first button, trimmed off the excess, and then came in with a second button and then added some cute little bells. Now for our hang tag, we're just folding in some fabric, looping it, and using our hot glue gun to fold these together first, and then come back in and place that into the corner of our stocking and place some hot glue in that corner, and then place our little folded ribbon into our stocking corner. And this is where we will hang our stocking, making sure we got it into that corner, giving it a firm press. For more inspiration, follow us over at Crafting with the Hot Mess Express on Facebook and save the date for December 6th for our live event. For our third and final stocking, we didn't come in with a sweater. We came in with this little jacket here that's red. It has this beautiful quilted detailing on it that I thought would be pretty. Once again, we're going to trace our outline here, and I'm going to once again use that corner edge into that armpit, shaping off our foot of our piece. This did have a lining and I didn't want too much bulky here for my hot glue gun, so I went ahead and trimmed that off, turned it inside out, glued up our little edges here, and then placed it back. I did have a little issue here with the folding, so I went ahead and added an extra pleat there and just go ahead and fold it and hot glued everything into place, making the shape of our stocking that I wanted. So I didn't like the length of this stocking, so I went ahead and trimmed off the excess on the top and made it a shorter stocking here. Save the excess for later projects, you guys. Coming in with a strip of some muslin fabric here. Once again, just rip that up into a strip, and then I'm going to add that to the border. And on this one, I'm going to do front and back since the edge of the back is a very raw finish. So we're going to go ahead and layer up some muslin cloth. You see I had a little glue bleed through, so I went ahead and added another strip on top, just adding glue to that tip. Now I'm loving this fabric here and this beautiful lace detailing that I had in my stash. So we're just going to go ahead and layer up those two pieces. Now this is more of a traditional look with the red stocking, the gold little elements here with that ribbon that has a light bit of shimmer to it. Gonna go ahead and add that layer of a strip down that little boot shape of our stocking and taper off the ends, adding a little bit of glue. Now I want to go a simpler look here too, because I want to show all that layered stocking in that detail of that quilted kind of look to here. So we went ahead and came in with some strips of muslin fabric, layered those up along with our striped fabric, once again making a little pretzel and layering up our ribbon to make our beautiful little bow here. You can use whatever strips you want. It doesn't have to necessarily be the ribbon. It can be cloth, scrap material you have in your stash. I'm just going to go ahead and trim off any of these excess flyaways. On this one, I added a little bit of greenery because we're going with that green and red and gold tones on this one. So I went ahead and glued some little sprigs onto our stocking in the backs of our bow. Came back in with that same red button that we pulled off our original coat, glued that into the center, and then here is our cute little simple stock. I might come back in and add a little hanging tag at Thank you all for joining me for today's video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell on your way out, as well as share me out with a friend who you think you will love my videos. I hope to see you guys all next time. Go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know what you guys think of these projects. Bye everybody. Have a beautiful week.